Okay, so I'll be honest. I used to think and plan about my future a lot. I'm not saying you should not, of course you should, but let's break down the process so that it we don't lose ourselves like while planning our future, okay? I used to spend so much time thinking about future like trust me, I'm sitting with people who I enjoy with, the places where I enjoy, and my brain would be like 5 years ahead. Like I'm not being in present, I'm thinking about what will happen after 5 years. Well, where will I be, and will it go according to how I've planned and everything. Like it's just my brain would be just yeah, my brain would be literally 5 years ahead. And one day I realized I've been so busy preparing for my life that I forgot to actually have fun. Okay, now here is what future stressing actually looks like, because it doesn't always have to look dramatic. It looks very real, and trust me, it will be relatable. So it looks like you're lying in bed and running through every possible way how things could go wrong. It looks like being in a perfectly fine moment and we are worrying like, what if it doesn't last long? What if something goes wrong? Or like our perfectly fine moment, like we are just worrying about future, like that yes, this won't last long. Like for example, you're visiting your dream country and you have a trip of 15 days, and on day one you are just imagining that this trip is just for 15 days. On 16th day I'll be back on my schedule, and due to this stress you won't be able to enjoy your 15 days. This is how future stressing looks like. It looks like making a decision and then immediately second guessing it for the next 3 weeks. Sounds familiar, right? You know why we do this? Because we think that if we think hard enough we can control what happens. Like if you plan for every possible outcome, nothing bad can surprise us. Like it's not fair, right? Because our brain thinks worrying is the same as being prepared, but it's not. I don't get it. Why do we worry? Because worrying is just suffering twice, once in your head and once if it actually happens. And most of the time, it doesn't even happen, right? So just don't worry about things. Okay, now let's talk about a real problem that nobody actually talks about. So, when you're constantly feeling stressed, it's like your brain is trying to tell you that this moment right now it's not enough. I'm not safe, and I need to figure everything out before I can relax. And therefore, you never really relax because you're trying to figure everything out, and therefore, you never feel settled because the future never arrives. You're stressing about future, you're trying to figure everything out about the future, but the future is never arriving, it never arrives, and therefore you just don't feel settled enough because there's always another thing to worry about. You solve one problem, you'll jump onto the next one, and you're again stressed. So basically you solve one problem and your brain immediately jumps onto the next one to stress about and to worry about. And you know what, this becomes a habit. Like this actually becomes a habit and a really exhausting one. You know what, I used to think that people who don't care about future, or people who don't plan about future, don't really care about future. They're very irresponsible. I used to think that. But I'm totally wrong. I was totally wrong because they understood things which we are learning, which we need to understand. Because you can plan things out without worrying about future. You can literally be present. You can literally be happy in your present and still care about your future. Okay, let me give you a thought that genuinely changed the way I see things now. All right, think about all those things that you used to worry about 2 years ago. Like all those thoughts that scared you the most, the things that felt like, what if What if this doesn't work out? All right. And now tell me, how many of them actually happened the way you feared about them? Probably very few of them, right? And the things that actually came true, I'm sure you must have handled it. Not because you planned every detail, but because when that moment came, you figured it out. Like you always do. You will figure things eventually when the moment will come. Basically, the stress that you are stressing about right now, do not stress about it, because when that stress will arrive, you will figure things out. It's as simple as that. Guys, your brain is not a future predicting machine. It is really bad at it. It imagines all the worst case scenarios and presents them to you like they're facts, like they're definitely going to come true. But they are not. They are just thoughts, some random thoughts that you don't need to stress about, because thoughts are not true. They don't come true because they are not facts, right? So just don't stress about future, and just don't put stress on those thoughts, because you don't know whether they'll come true or not. And even if they come true, whenever it come whenever they'll come true, you'll figure it out then, not now. Okay, don't think about what will happen 10 days later, what will happen a week later. Just think about what you have to do tomorrow, your to-do lists for tomorrow. All right. Okay, so what actually helped me to stop living in my head all the time? It is this one simple question that I used to ask myself whenever I feel spiraled. It is this a problem right now, in this very exact moment? Like, not 5 years later, not 3 months later, like right now, in this moment. And most of the time, my answers were no, it's not a problem right now. And whenever the answer was yes, I used to handle it. Like, okay, I'll like everyone does. You all handle your problems, which you're facing right now, not 5 years later. Because I don't know. I'm just imagining that कि हाँ ये problem आएगा, but it's never going to come, right? Like you don't even know whether it will arrive or not. And whenever it will arrive, you'll handle it. You always do. You have 100% survival rate right now. Okay, so just don't take too much stress. Okay, another thing which can actually help is give yourself a worry window. Okay, so what exactly is this? So basically, if there's a problem that you need to solve, okay, just give yourself a time. Like, you will think about how to solve this problem at, for example, 6 p.m. And if you're stressing about that problem at 2 p.m., you're worrying about it. Like, what do I do about this? Or what do I do about that? If you're stressing about this at 2 p.m., just tell your brain that, listen, we have a time for this. We'll think of how to solve this problem at 6 p.m. Or, like, yeah, anytime, whatever you want to. So yeah, giving a space, it actually teaches your brain that we have a time to think about this. This will not ruin your present moment. For example, you are at your favorite, you're going out, you're going out to your favorite place, okay? And during that time, you will just keep stressing about your stress. You have a time for your stress. Your brain will understand. This will teach your brain that you have a time for your stress. You will think about how to solve this problem at this time, not at this very exact moment. Just enjoy your present right now. All right. Try this. This might actually help. This actually helps. Okay. Look, I'm not telling you to never think about the future. That's not realistic, right? We have to plan about our future. But there's a difference between planning with intention and spiraling with fear, because one moves you forward and other keeps you awake at night. Like, even I'm awake at night, it's around, I think, 2 a.m. But because I'm shooting a video, I'm not worrying about future as of now. Although I used to worry a lot, but I started asking myself some questions. It's not a problem right now. I'll solve it when the problem comes, when that specific problem comes, the problem that I'm stressing about. All right. Your future will not be built by worrying about it. It will be built in your small, everyday moments. The conversations you have, the thing that you finally want to start, you started, and when you choose to be here in the present instead of being in your head. Life that you're dreaming of, it's already happening in your small, everyday, easy to miss moments. So just stay calm and work on your future self. And trust me, you will be okay. You will be alright. And take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in my next video.